Well, we're a few weeks into Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 4. It's crazy that I say Chapter 5 Season 4 at this point. I don't know why. It's starting to hit me how long this game's actually been out. But anyways, I wanted to get a gauge on how people are feeling about this season. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you were new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Guys, welcome back to the Reply Room, everybody, where I asked you guys to jump into the Discord server and I drop a question like this. How are you liking Season 4 so far? Drop your general thoughts. And again, guys, I wanted to get a gauge on how people are feeling about this. We make videos like this all the time, so if you are new here, jump into the Discord server. It is in the pinned comment description down below. Hit like and subscribe, guys. Let's get into the first reply for today. I love Season 4 so far. First off, the map. The map is really vibrant. I like the fall look. The storyline is good. I like what they're going with this vicious Doom killing everyone. The loot pool is really good as well. I like the loot. I like the Marvel mythics. I like the dualies. I'm really excited to see what they do and the updates they bring. This is my opinion. Feel free to share, so thank you so much for sharing. So I think that so far, after the past couple updates, a lot of people are kind of agreeing that this season is good, especially since the Dr. Doom update. That's pretty well my guess, but as always, guys, I'd love to know what you think about it down below afterwards. Let's continue on. I'm loving it. The shield isn't as OP as you might think. While War Machine's mythic is pretty powerful, it can be countered slightly with the shield. I'm surprised yet pleased with the battle pass, despite two of them being Marvel characters. Only thing would maybe be how Mem Mysterio's medallion is, but oh well. There's even going to be more updates as we progress. Exactly, there's more updates to come, and the updates that we've had so far are actually really solid. Let's continue on to another reply. Well, to start, I really enjoyed last season. Me too. Thought it was a blast. I really just enjoyed it overall, even with all of the issues I have with this chapter, such as bullet drop, etc. So when Marvel season was around the corner, I have to admit, I put my expectations just a bit too high. So when the season came out, I was actually having a blast. That didn't stick around for very long though, so I had to think about why that was. It was mostly because I like all of the new Marvel items added, and I've had a blast with them. But when the freshness of those items wore off a bit, my main issue about Chapter 5 as a whole faded back slowly. Let me pause right there. This is such a respectable thing. We need more people, and we need to praise people like Steve when they, and obviously didn't do anything wrong, but I mean, like, take accountability for your thought process, because so many people get disappointed, for example, for something like having their expectations too high, and then they go on and just hate Epic Games. So I think we need to praise this mentality. Anyways, upon realizing this, I set my expectations accordingly from that point on. So I've been really enjoying the game. The Marvel items are fun. I really like most of the POIs, and the fact that there are many Avengers and Doom chests around the map make other POIs feel more appealing as well. If I had to nitpick one thing, it's they recently added Doom Island. I get that some like the fact it has a lower spawn rate. To me, however, it feels like a lack of commitment. I don't want to be that guy, but back in the day when they added something like this, it was in every game. Think about the Infinity Gauntlet. It changed the game so much in a fun way because every game was different. You either were Thanos or you died trying to kill him. Even better, when you killed him, you became him. So to me, that's what Doom Island should have been. Doom's armor would shoot from the forge onto a random location. The first to pick it up becomes him, but I ultimately like the season. So like I said, this is a very great way to look at it. Interesting that you put that second paragraph there speaking about how Doom's item is. I agree with what you say. I agree that it would be better if Doom just dropped onto the map, but the problem is people and the Fortnite community themselves, they have changed so much throughout the years where people used to have fun dying against Thanos or dying against Dr. Doom. If we were to have this Doom Island and the same exact thing back in like the early days of Chapter 1, every single game, we had Dr. Doom instead of Thanos. Like, just as powerful, my point being. Everybody would have still had fun with it. But now, like I said, people are changing over time. People are getting more and more sad as time goes on. Life is changing for a lot of people, and ultimately they are a little bit more miserable. So now, if we have the Thanos thing, if we had the Doom thing, it would be unanimously hated, and then Epic Games would listen to the people who crying about it, and they would nerf it to the ground to the point where Dr. Doom became a disadvantage. So unfortunately, this was the correct thing to do in my opinion. But anyways, let's continue on. I'm gonna divide my reply into three sections: the map, the content, and the future. The map is the best biome in the POI added for Chapter 5. They neither feel overly enlarged and provide unique experiences compared to past POIs. This chapter, the only problems, however, this biome is more of a chapter-wide issue. We have a lack of landmarks, and every new location gets added are always tied to the boss gimmick. You'll see outside the Loot Drone Factory and the Fantastic Four logo, the only landmarks you will see are the train stations and gas stations, with a few things off to the side sparsely, and the boss POI henchman gimmick isn't my cup of tea for the 17th time around. The guns themselves are the underdogs of this chapter. As for the Marvel items, I hate to say it, but I feel though the hate for the Cap shield was a bit warranted, only because if people were divided by the ballistic shield, they wanted to get another one that is on them, regardless if it was ironic or not. Other Marvel items, I'm neutral. I'm just glad the Sticky Huntress DMR is gone. My only concerns for the future will be the Fortnitemares event and the mini event. I'd be surprised if Fortnite even remembers Fortnitemares. I don't see why it seems like unvaulting items a landmark and making things fit a Halloween vibe. Like I am oversimplifying things, but now we're just devolving to the point that the only thing we get is just challenges like what happened with the summer event. And the mini event, I have my doubts. Last season, we thought Megalodon would tear through the island. It was kind of anticlimactic. You can't hate me on that one. It was just outright teased. I have a feeling that Doom will magically grow huge, and 10 seconds later, Iron Man just riffs him away, and we get some minor lore explanation to the transition of Chapter 2. I can actually see that happening too. Sorry if this sounds like a Doomer's approach, but I'm taking the realistic approach rather than the optimistic approach because that's what this chapter is being reaffirming in my mind. Hopefully, this chapter as a whole will serve as a learning lesson because apparently Fortnite OG wasn't enough of a kick. As for the season, if we get Marvel LTMs that feel good and aren't buggy, I'd say this season would be the best of this chapter. You know what? Honestly, I don't have a ton to add that one. It's a very, very fair take. I don't completely disagree with it or agree with it. I do not like the guns in my opinion though. The guns I'm not a big fan of in Chapter 5, but that's a whole Chapter 5 issue. But sorry, the live event made me laugh because I can actually see that happening. Anyways, let's continue on. POs are really good. The new biome is amazing. Boss's placements are nice, and their items are also good. Not looking at Mysterio's medallion. Mobility-wise, I think they're nice and balanced. New weapons are also good. They should keep it like this without any nerfs. It's so brutal to see some Marvel characters in the Doom's castle, which is pretty crazy. Not following up to the lore yet, even though I already did all the story quests. Peak for the battle pass. In my opinion, the most horrible skin in the battle pass is Captain Jones. Blood has too much skin styles already. I'd give it an 8.5 rate for me. It's not super perfect, but almost there. Definitely the best season in Chapter 5. Dislikes would be the raft. I hate the raft. It's just replaced Pleasant Piazza just like that, turning into a coastal type beach location and not somewhere else. Mysterio's medallion is pretty trash on my end. Could have been a decoy medallion where your character would duplicate like what Mysterio does. The dislike could probably change, but so far map updates are horrible so far. Yeah, the map updates definitely have been lacking, but I feel like the only time Epic has been really going hard on the map updates is just for new seasons now, which actually sucks a little bit. But yeah, again, another really fair take about the season. Let's continue on. Really enjoying this season so far. Any nerfs or balances, in my opinion, haven't completely ruined the point of the season like the nerfs to Wrecked did last season for me. That's how I felt about last season. Wrecked kind of got ruined by the nerfs. As of right now, my only concern for the season will be how they handle Fortnitemares. Other than that, I see no downside to this season. Personally, though, I would like to see the Doom Island spawn rate increase to at least 25%. Moving forward, this season, I'm really hoping they can knock out this upcoming LTM out of the park so we can get a really good LTM this season. Also, I think because this season has been a massive success, I hope this leads to Epic making more collab-themed seasons like a Star Wars, DC, or anime-themed season because there's a lot of potential there. Not saying the majority of seasons should be collab-themed, but maybe like one each chapter. One each chapter is interesting, and I definitely agree. I would love to see a Star Wars, DC, or anime-themed pass, because they tend to knock these collaboration seasons completely out of the park, like as we mentioned right here. But the other thing that I forgot to mention when Don wrote Fortnitemares, I can't see them doing it good. I'm hoping that Disney's watching over their shoulder and Fortnitemares will be a good event, but man, unfortunately, I just can't see it. Overall, the season is absolute hype. The map is great, and the new biome gives me some Chapter 4 graphics vibes for the season. The medallions are pretty good, the meta's pretty good and much better than last season. The only problems I find is playing trios or squads, and zero build is the worst thing ever because I have 3 people using the aimbot backpack and the War Machine's missiles at the same time and die less than 3 seconds with no way to defend myself. I would say that this meta is much better for builds, which is great for me because I'm a competitive player, but when I play with casual friends, zero build is not just it this season, and at least compared to other seasons. Yeah, I've noticed that because I have friends that prefer zero build, and it's a lot more difficult to play zero build this season, but at the end of the day, it doesn't ruin the experience for me, and builds, this is definitely one of those build seasons. Let's continue on. I wasn't feeling the same amount of hype as everyone else until Doom got buffed. Now that I'm having games with him, in this game has been so much more fun. Already the best of Chapter 5, I can't wait for the next update. At the time of recording this video, which you are seeing it the day before it's really the day before I recorded you're watching it, excuse me, I still have not been in one singular game with Dr. Doom. Not that I haven't had him. I haven't been in a game with him. I still haven't experienced that, man. I'm just glad he's still in the game. Anyways, let's continue on, everybody. Super fun, and while I have liked every season in this chapter, I still feel like they're missing something. I think the battle pass could have been a bit better, but this is coming from a non-Marvel fan, so I wish Doom was a higher chance and spawned to the bunkers instead because I really want to use it more. The LTM is kind of bad, to be honest. I wish it was better and had the Chapter 2 mythics in it. And like Clen says, leaks are ruining the game, although I disagree, and it's one thing that got me into the game apart from the story. Leaks are definitely ruining this game. Not ruining it to the point where it's like actually ruining the game. It's just if you miss the Chapter 1 feelings, leaks are your issue, the big issue. And we have a whole video talking about, like, not leaks, but just enjoying Fortnite in general. Leaks were a huge part of it. But anyways, yeah, it must be difficult as a non-Marvel fan to really get to enjoy this season. But at the end of the day, I think Epic Games did a good job, like, balancing it. I feel like there is stuff like Doctor Doom. There is things that you don't have to be a Marvel fan to experience the fun of the gameplay this season. I get not liking the battle pass and that type of stuff, especially, again, if you don't like Marvel. But hey, we only have like another month or so through the season, guys. Let me know what you think about the season down below. Thank you so much for being here and watching the video. If you'd like to check out that video on how to enjoy Fortnite, again, you can check it out right here, guys. I'll see you over there or in the next video. Take care, everybody.